Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to show you how to make these bookmarks. I've done a video a couple of weeks ago just showcasing these bookmarks. If anyone wants to see the video on this journal, I will link it in the description box below. But these bookmarks can be used for your journals on the spine or just on your regular reading books. This book's a little bit battered, so I'm just going to show you how I go about making the bookmarks. There's not a lot that you need other than beads. You might need some silver findings. I like these little clamp beads just as like little spacers, and I also like jump rings. But the elastic that you need, I always find the thinner the better, but I think this is 0.7 or 0.8. I don't think it says. But this one's a little bit too thick and a little bit too strong, but I just buy some from my local haberdashery. I think it's 0.6 and it is quite loose. Other than that, you'll just need beads, charms, anything that you have in your stash. So I'll just show you how I make it. I use a book so I know how much I need, and I just generally measure, just, you know, so they cross over. I cut it off. And then I always find that it's good to have like a central bead and then smaller beads off the side. So with this one and all the other ones that I have on my Etsy store, I have a main bead and then matching beads either side. So I think I'm going to make a pink one, but I'm going to have white in the middle. I always try and plan it out, but I've sort of tried to think this through, but we'll see how it goes. If you have thicker elastic, you might find that a lot of your beads won't go on. So if you're going to buy some beads, especially for this, it's always good to try and get beads with the bigger hole. So all I'm doing is I like to space mine out with actual just jump rings. I'll show you in just a moment. So all I do is, sorry, I'm not sure if I'm going to be well focused, sorry, wobbled. So I just generally layer them up, and then I'm going to go for a colour either side. So I'm going to go for pink, and literally you're just threading them on. So there, and then you get like a little bit of the silver in the middle. So I'll put these between every bead that I do, and it doesn't matter what you've got. If you've got jump rings, the ones that are like little tiny key rings, split rings I think they're called, whichever you have, it doesn't really matter. I think the most important thing is having some beads that you like and some elastic. Then I'm going to use some of these like spacer beads. And as you can see, they do have quite a big hole. So I'll just put one of those on. And then I just constantly readjust it, just make sure it's looking like what I want it to look like. I think it's looking like what I want it to look like, but you're never quite sure till the end. I might try one of these on, because maybe I should have put a slightly bigger bead next to it. Maybe that would look better there. So this is what I generally do. I just constantly remake the whole thing. So I'll put it on. Then I think I'll go for the pink. Yeah. And I wouldn't go for particularly heavy beads. The ones that one there in the middle is glass, and then the rest of my beads are just plastic. And they're like the cheaper ones as well. Then that's really like those ones. And you know, the ones for kids' jewellery. Anything that you have, I wouldn't go for particularly heavy, because then when you have it down the spine, it sort of weights it down, and if the book is resting on the sides, the weight goes to the side. just looking, thinking, do I actually like these ones? Yeah. So there we go. I'll just bring it closer. I'll put it on this book so it tries to focus. There we go. Oh, I'm still not focusing, sorry. There we go. Then I'm just going to then go, then I'll now decrease the size. But what I think would actually look better, again, I'll just redo it, is this one there. Because that's the main thing. A lot of the things that you see that look really attractive, they only look attractive to the eye because you've got it all well balanced out. So that looks better than that one. So, you know, there's no need to pull them all off, just pull the ones off that you want to redo. Yep, so there we go, and then I'll just put that on that side, and I think then I'm going to just do some white just to continue the white, and these are the packs that I get these in. They're just £1 from, it's actually a Chinese bead shop that I go to. I don't know why it makes any difference that it's a Chinese bead shop. Yep. And then all I'll do then on the end is I buy a lot of these silvery, spacery type beads, but those are a bit glitzy. They're actually like disco balls, so I don't know what I was thinking when I bought those ones. But these ones are really good. You can get these from the majority of haberdashery stores if you're in the UK. I got these from Dunelm, I think. And then I just put 2 on the end just to finish them off. Like I say, some of them are fiddly, especially if you're frayed the end of your elastic. So just cut it off and it makes it much easier to thread. I didn't put a one of those on because it would just fall off. So there we go. So they're all threaded. So I hope you can see that. I hope it's focused. I'll just try and focus. Yeah, there we go. Sorry the camera's a little bit wobbly, guys. So now I'm just going to show you how to tie it off. So when I tie it, I like to put it back on the book. And when you're tying, I like to tie 2 knots here just to keep the beads together, because otherwise if you didn't tie any knots, I'll show you on this other one. I actually got this on holiday, so this was my inspiration from it, and this has no knots apart from the knot that's holding it. And what actually happens in reality is they all spread out like that, and I'm a little bit OCD and I like them all together. I think it just looks much more tidier. So what you need to do is you need to tie a knot either side here. What you also need to factor in is you might stretch it over the book, and therefore you still might get a bit of that. So what I do is I tie the knot, and then before I tie the second knot, I stretch it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. So I just make sure they're generally in the middle. I'll just tie a normal knot, you know, the loop, and you put it through the loop, whatever that is. And then also you'll find the thinner that your elastic is, the smaller your knot will go. So I just pull the elastic really tight so it is a really, really small knot. And then all I do is I then pull the elastic, so that's really taut. You can see all the beads going up, but then when you stretch it, it's just going to look better. You'll see what I mean if you do it without tauting it, tensing it, whatever, pulling it tight. So yeah, there you go. So it looks a little bit crumpled up there, but when you're going to stretch this over the book, it just sits a lot nicer, other than it's stretching out. So then what you're going to need to do is, I generally do it on this book because it's a good size, but then you just want to tie it now. So I just pull the book to any page, put it in the middle, make sure again it's generally in the middle, and just tie it in a normal knot like you're tying your shoelace. I'm not sure what the knot's called, but because it's elastic you can generally stretch it to pretty much any size book, but if you think you're going to go smaller, do it on the smaller book too, begin with. And yeah, you just tie it like that. I only tie it in one knot because otherwise your knot is going to end up pretty big. So you can see there, that is a small knot. If it focuses. There we go. So it's quite a small knot, and so are the knots on the inside. So those are the knots either side. So then all I do is I literally just cut them off as close as I can. I think that if I did actually measure the elastic and I got, you know, a good formula for measuring the elastic, I probably wouldn't waste these end bits. But that's not my crafting style. And then I just put it over the book just to make sure. There we go. There we go. There we go. So that's done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you make any yourself and if you're going to be using them for junk journals or just for your general reading. Thanks guys, bye.